Okay folks, welcome, and this is my Bane guide for the character Bane, of course, on Injustice Gods Among Us. Now, Bane is actually considered quite a low tier character. It's a bit debated. Some people think he's quite good. I think he's quite good. He's pretty good at holding the pressure down. Now, the main problem with Bane is that he's not like, he hasn't got many options. People with air dashes, you can do it to mix you up. Bane hasn't got any of this. He's pretty much a straightforward character, and actually I think he's quite counterintuitive to himself most of the time, which you'll come across later. But the main thing that you're going to have to do in order to play Bane well is to play him differently. Play him how it doesn't seem like he should be played, and you'll sort of pick that up as we go through. So I'm just going to go over what the contents are, what I'm going to be talking about, and you can skip to each bit now if you want. Strengths and weaknesses. This is quite important for Bane because he's a bit of an unorthodox character. He's kind of one of the only true grapplers in the game, so we'll kind of go over that. His normal attacks, I'll go through all his normal attacks. He hasn't got many, he's got the normal amount, and that includes jumping and crouching attacks. The safe strings, I'll go over what's safe, what's not, and what I think you should be using more often than not when you're trying to get a hit confirm going. Then I'll go over his special moves. I do a little bit of a special move overview before I actually go into the body press, the charge and all the rest. Body press and raging charge are probably the most predominant ones you want to look at because that's where most of the important stuff is. The rest are important, but the ring slam is probably the least important. So just consider that like a list in order that you want to look at them. And then I'm going to go over his Venom, which is his trait, and that's the buff and debuff variants of it. His anti-airs. Now, his super, I'm going to mix in with his command grab issues, because the super is very just a short thing, and then I'm going to go over the issues with command grabs, and that includes the super, because his super is a command grab. And that's to make you aware of it, because he has got issues in that sort of area. Now, then onto his mix-up and cross-up tech, because he hasn't got much mix-up, but I tried to find as much as I can, and hopefully you can watch it and be quite, inspire you in some way. And there is some interesting stuff there. And then I go into his bread and butter combos, which he hasn't got many, so that's probably just going to be a minute or two long segment. And then I do a couple of match commentary on my own matches when I was playing Bane. I've selected a few, and hopefully you'll kind of get the mindset, because that's quite important for Bane. It's not just about, he's got this, he's got that. It's kind of, you have to change the way you play him compared to all the other characters, in my opinion. So hopefully that'll come across predominantly in that section. So the first thing we're going to talk about is his strengths and weaknesses, as usual. The first thing is that he's pretty good in sort of respects of that he doesn't need his meter. If you compare him to other characters, I like to compare him to Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is going to use his meter all the time. Bane is not really going to, and I'll explain that later. You maybe want to, but I'd say he's very unreliant on his meter. You'll have a lot of meter ready for clashes and stuff like that, which is pretty good. His specials are armoured a lot of the time if you're using your Venom, because that gives him armour on all his special moves apart from his anti-air grab, I believe, and one or two of his normal moves actually. But that's why he's very meter unreliant, because the main thing that your specials are going to achieve are armoured. You get a lot of pressure from your Venom trait. His dashes are amazing. They're like full screen in 2 dashes, and that's forward and back, so it's really hard to sort of catch him, and a lot of his stuff is sort of neutral, at least on blocks, so you can dash away. It's really good dashes, and so he's got good high mobility in that respect. His next thing is his Venom buff. This is his trait. It's very integral to his whole character, and actually is quite important. It adds a lot of extra bonuses to his character, and that's why he's meter unreliant, because this is pretty much how you're going to use the character, relying on his Venom management really. And his good pressure comes from his Venom management. Once he gets going, he can really get going, but he may have an issue starting to get going. Okay, so there is sort of strengths, which I think are reasonably good. So now we're going to go on to his weaknesses, and in this sort of section you might notice where his low tier aspects come from. And the biggest thing I would say about this is that he's counterintuitive to his own design. That's how I'd put it anyway. He's not a combo-y character. You really can't do anything more than 1, 2, 3 special, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 special. he can't extend combos very much at all. So that kind of keeps his damage quite low-ish, and he's got no ranged attacks, so he's gonna have to try and stay close to you, and this is where his counterintuitiveness comes from. A lot of his normals and special moves knock the opponent really far away, so that's why he's not a comboer for normal moves or special moves, and it just like spaces him wrongly. You want to stay close to the opponent to pressure them, but if you do anything that sort of adds damage on, you just knock them over the full screen pretty much. So it's just really sort of weird. You have to play him and sort of restrain yourself from adding extra damage and stuff, because you'll knock them full screen. You'll see that clearly, but it's sort of a weird thing, and that's probably what makes him low tier, that when you get a hit and start doing combos, unless you sort of restrain yourself, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage again. His launchers are very slow. They're not good in terms of, you can't combo into them for a start. So the only way you're going to get a straight transition is if you sort of bait an attack, but like I said, they're quite slow. They can be beaten out by quite a lot fast normals, 2 hits, even if you try and just do it really quickly. His super and command grabs, they're quite unreliable in certain respects. I wouldn't say 50-50, I'd say maybe 70% you'll get them, so 30% you won't. Maybe, I don't know. But the main point is, when you don't get them, you're often at a disadvantage, because, but it's just, you'll see in the section, it's just really sort of unfair. I think it's more of an area which NetherRealms needs to fix more than Bane, to be honest, because it's about the whole game rather than just Bane. And he's got bad matchup pretty clearly. Black Adam, I think, is quite a bad matchup for him. You can get pressured, mainly characters which have multiple hitting very fast moves, and there are a couple of characters where his armor doesn't really work anymore, and that's kind of the whole point of his strength, is his Venom buff armor. So that's where his bad matches come into play. Okay, so now I'm talking about Bane's normal attacks. These are going to be his jumping attacks as well as his crouching attacks, and all the target combos in between, and what I think they're good for, whether they are good, and if there's anything special that you could sort of use them for. I will talk about those in more detail, but I'll go over them briefly here so you get the idea of what you could look out for. So his first normal I'm talking about is his down 1. This is every character's sort of interrupt move, and Bane's is really good. It comes out really fast, it's quite long distance, and you can sort of spam it a bit. So the best way to use it is maybe do it to interrupt them, do it again to make them block low, cancel it into an overhead, which he does have an overhead special. Now you can't cancel it into your command grab, but you can sort of do it, wait a little bit to sort of make them block, and then cancel into your command grab. Use Venom to make it a bit more safer, of course, because then you get a bit of armor. So I'm pretty sure all characters with quite a lot of special moves can cancel the recovery frames if it hit or whiff to get it to come out a little bit faster. What I mean is, if I'm mashing it here, that's the speed it comes out. But if I time it, it can come out a lot faster. So hopefully you can see that's like marginally faster at least to come out. And this is a lot better to sort of pressure them, keep them sort of doing. But like I say, if they block it, you can't do it. So it's quite evident on this move. Back 1, I'll sort of cancel the recovery a bit, and I'll do like this little shimmy forward because of it. Loads of characters can do this with loads of different special moves, and they have different sort of effects. So experiment, but it's good to do it on the down 1 to sort of keep them pressured. Now Bane's down 2. Reasonably good, I'd say, as an anti-air. Nice, it's got a bit of a backwards hitbox a little bit there by the looks of things. You can combo out of it. You still can't go into your launchers because they're really slow and rubbish, even from max height. But you can combo into a reasonable damage. It's up to you whether you want to risk it, of course. I think it still gets beat out by quite high priority air normals, and you know, you have to take into account lag if you're playing online, for example. But you can go into 1-2 command grab, which is probably the best choice for you to do. You can go into charge straight away if you want to cross up on them, for example. Just go into command grab if you're uncertain about doing normals, but still, 1-2 command grab is probably the best you're going to get out of the situation. Now there is one special thing that is attributed to the down 2, and that's after any down 2 you can do a dash forward, cross up, forward 3 or back 3. Okay, so any down 2, then dash up, forward 3 is more consistent and is actually an overhead, so that's probably a better one to do, forward 3, but the other one works just as fine. So as you can see, the computer is blocking the opposite way because it is a cross up. Now you can delay it a little bit or speed up your dash so it isn't actually a cross up if they're starting to guess this type of thing. And you can do this off any down 2. So, you know, for example, that down 2, it's still counted. And this is if they don't tech roll. If they tech roll, it won't work, but you might still get them with the back 3, possibly. So for in this example, I did it off a combo. I sacrificed guaranteed damage to get the reset. Maybe you want to do that for certain reasons. His down 3 is not that good. It's quite slow, it knocks them over. Not much else you can say about it really. It's got okay range. Possibly if you want to do it just to get, you know, a command grab going. They can't tech roll it, so you know they'll stay on the ground unless they do a wake up attack, but it's not that good else. So jumping attacks now. We have jumping 1, which is rarely used to be honest. It's got a bit of crossover ability. It's got quite short hit stun, but it is enough to combo out of it if you want. Now one of the good uses for it I came up with is, because it's got low hit stun, you can go into your command grab. Now if you hit them really low and then you do command grab immediately, you'll whiff it, but really it's quite hard to do that. So if you hit them anywhere, you know, as you're jumping, as you normally would, go into your command grab and you'll get a nice sort of setup going, because most of his setups come from his command grab. And use Venom of course if you want to start making that a bit safer here, for example. So now if I do the jumping 1, if he sticks out a button, I'll still grab him, which is nice. So the next one is jumping 2, because that's the number that comes after 1. And this is just your average attack really. Okay damage, okay hit stun, you know, it's pretty nice. No crossover ability, so just average. Use it if you want to just start getting into good combos. Now you're jumping 3, it's got an okay hitbox. It reaches quite, you know, you can do it quite early on in your jump, but it makes them fall over. Good damage, you can still combo out of it. So as you can see here, I'll do a jumping 2 into a jumping 3, and I get him pretty early on. This is Lex Luthor though, but you can combo out of it. But I would recommend maybe using the jumping 2 if you want to combo out of it. Maybe this is just to sort of stop them doing something. This one is amazing. Jumping down 3 is like your body press type move. It's got amazing active frames. It's got a really wide hitbox. It's got crossover ability. You're going to use it all the time really. So you can combo from it as well. If they block it, you have to be a bit careful because they can probably stick out something before you can stick out anything if they block it. But it's really quite good. You can combo out of it on hit. And you will want to use this move for sort of air-to-air transactions and to sort of stop them getting these interactables, because it's got a wide sort of hitbox. So it's a good idea to try and use this. Your best choice. So now we're on to his normals or his target combos, and the first one is 1-1-1. Its initial one is a high attack, so this is actually quite a big deal. You'll miss it if you use it against a lot of enemies. If you do a jumping attack, they do stand, so you can use it then. Now 1-1-2 I think is actually a rubbish attack. You do stick your arm out a long way, so you might catch things, but it's unsafe and it knocks them this far away. I mean, what are you going to do from that distance? So just don't really use it for that. This is where the counterintuitiveness comes in. The only reason I could see you using it if you're on anti-venom or you're just about to be, knock them miles away and sort of chill for a bit while you get your anti-venom off. Instead you should be using 1-1-3. It's got an overhead in it at the end, which is nice. The first attack will still miss if they duck, but you can go into specials with it, you know, get into a nice combo, like for a charge there for example, or a command grab for example. Now near the corner, this is going to be your most damaging combo, is 1-1-3, 1-1-3 command grab. So, you know, the main problem is that it starts with a high attack, so you have to be careful about that. Now your next attack is probably going to be your mainly used one, which is back 2-3. Your back 2 is a low attack, which is pretty nice, and it launches them in the air, so this is going to be your main combo attack to do most of your damage. Probably end in a 1-2-3 command grab, something like that. So your back 2-3 does have a couple of things you can do. For example, you can do a 2-back-3 dash under and then a quick cross up for a nice little mix up, and you can even bluff it so it's not a cross up, so it's quite ambiguous. And against tall opponents you will never be able to cross up, but it is still very ambiguous. I'll go into it in more detail in the mix-up section, but you are sacrificing guaranteed damage when you do this, of course. Another thing you can do is back 2-3 charge, and the charge will be a cross-up if they don't tech roll. So the second back 2-3 has to hit them quite low to the ground there, and as you can see it becomes a cross-up, which is pretty nice. But I'll go into all this a bit more in the mix-up section and talk about specifics of it. The other variation is back 2-1. Now this is a low into an overhead, which is pretty cool. It does pretty rubbish damage though, 10%, and doesn't give you much options afterwards. You can dash up, but they can tech roll, so you know you don't get much opportunity to do much afterwards. And the main point being they both start off on the back 2 low attack. So if you catch them with a low attack, you should have gone into the back 2-3. And if you catch them with the overhead only, it does about 2 damage. People will start to realise all they have to do is block low and then up for both variations, and then it starts to become an issue that you're screwing yourself on your own sort of combo opener. So instead of doing that, I think you should do forward 2 down. This is a nice sort of overhead, and you can cancel it into a thing for a nice 21% damage like that. Or you can cancel it into a command grab for like 22%, or 21 still. You can do forward 2-2, and you'll do a nice kick there, but as you see, it knocks them quite far away again. And the other variation is forward 2-3, which knocks them even further away. That is pretty much full screen, so why would you want to do that? You just wouldn't. So there's not really any reason to do forward 2-3. The only reason I can ever think of is if you're on high Venom, you know, and you're just about to run out, you catch them, you want some time to chill, knock them full screen. But if they're a zoney character, you still got to sort of get in then. So it's, you know, you got to be careful about stuff like that. So you've got back 1-1, which is 2 lows in a row, which is pretty nice, and then back 1-1-2. This does a little kick. Now you can cancel the back 1-1 into your overhead move, so you've got low overhead. This is some nice mix-up. You can cancel this as well into special moves, which is nice. Command grab most importantly. Now remember the down 2 had a thing where you could dash up and do a cross-up, forward 3 and back 3. Well, back 1-1-2 also has this property. So anytime you do a back 1-1-2, dash up, do a forward 3 or back 3, and it turns into a cross-up, which is pretty nice. And you can get a cool damage combo from that. So that's probably a better variation to use. But if you get it from a launcher like so, it's a little bit harder to connect, because sometimes it looks like it should hit, but it still whiffs. But you can always go into cross-up, forward 3 or back 3 from those. So 2-2 is nice. It becomes an untechable knockdown. Not much you can do from it. 2-2-3, same thing, knocks them max screen. Again, you know, I'm saying this a lot, but the only reason you'd want to use 2-2-3 is to knock them miles away when you're on anti-venom. If you're in the corner, maybe 2-2, get an untechable knockdown, so you know where they're going to be when they drop. Okay, so the next one, forward 2. Now this is kind of like your 1-1-2 in appearance. It just does a big punch, which reaches quite far, which is nice. You can charge it a bit for some reason, so it reaches quite far, but it is unsafe, so it knocks them really far away as well. An important thing to note is that this move, along with the forward 2 down variation, is the only normal to gain armor from your Venom, like your special moves do, for some reason, so maybe you can use that. And you've also got 1-2-3. This does high damage but knocks them way too far away normally, so you always want to use it in sort of a combo or if you're in a corner. You can't do much after it in terms of cancelling special moves because they always drop. So 1-2-3, good, but keep it in the corner or in a combo like so. So now we've finished normals, I'm going on to his safe strings. These are all his normals again, and his special moves, but I'm going to talk about what's safe and what's not, and it's quite a short section, because it's easier for me to show you what's not safe, and then go over everything that is safe, because Bane, a lot of his stuff is safe, which is pretty cool. So the things that are not safe are basically his forward 2, so where he sticks his arm out really far, that is unsafe even at maximum range like that. Obviously it depends on the character, of course. There's 1-1-2, which sort of looks the same. His down 3 is pretty unsafe, depending on the character. I'm using Lex Luthor's corpse charge here because it's easiest to sort of show. And his forward 2 down 3, that's unsafe. As you can see, he's just lying on the floor, he's having a nap. But apart from that, you know, and that special move which is safe, unsafe, sorry, for obvious reasons, everything else is safe. So, you know, you've got your 1, your 1-1, your 1-1-3, which are going to be like your main kind of things. But don't forget, you have to worry about them ducking on those ones. But I'm just showing them all, you know, I'm not going to go through telling you them all. But they're all safe, it seems, from a corpse charge. Maybe down one, you know, might be a bit more dangerous, but it depends on the character in that respect. Now his launchers are pretty rubbish. Like I said, you can get hit out of them quite easily, so be careful with those. Now his uppercut is actually quite safe there by the looks of things, which is nice. You probably won't use uppercut that close though, because that's just weird. Now one of the things which I didn't really say is unsafe is any of his jumping attacks. You do have to be careful about these. It depends on when you sort of hit them. Don't hit them like on the dome, chrome dome, with the light normal one, because it's quite unsafe. You know, that's obviously, you know, just sort of dependent on how high you hit it, of course. But one of the things which I do like to be safe is his back forward 2, that move there, because you can add that to any sort of normal string you've got which don't have overheads and do like an instant overhead, and it becomes safe, so it's pretty nice. Now in terms of frame advantage, that's a different story. He hasn't got many things which give him too much frame advantage, so be careful about that. Okay, so before I go into the actual special moves specifically, I'm just going to do a general overview for the meter burned versions, as well as the ring sort of slam, which it can't be meter burned, but it's still quite important to this overview section. Now, remember I said at the very beginning in the strengths and weaknesses, hopefully, that Bane is quite counterintuitive to his own design, and this is where I think it really starts to show in his meter burn special moves. All of his meter burn special moves, they just add damage. They don't add any combo ability or anything like that. So all you're doing it for is to get an extra 5% or something like that. Now the main problem is that they all space him terribly. They all just knock the opponent full screen. You've got no real pressure anymore. And unless you want to do it to end the round, which is, you know, a good idea to do it then, or maybe you're running out of Venom and you're about to get level 3 anti-Venom or something, then there's just no reason to do it. You're putting yourself at a disadvantage, and this is quite a big issue, and you need to play Bane with this in mind. So the first one is his command grab. Now again, all of his special moves just add damage, so this is no different. Adds a nice extra chunk of damage there. Not too bad, but he throws them away and you haven't got much time to do anything. Now if you are on level 3 Venom, then you might want to consider doing it, because you get a nice extra chunk of damage, especially if it's going to finish the round. Just do that extra bit, because you'll have a lot of meter with Bane. Now when you meter burn, you can hold back and you will throw them behind you, so if you're in the corner, feel free to do it, just to position him into the corner, and you won't lose your spacing in that respect. So back forward 2, his double punch, that is terrible. It does terrible damage, about 13% damage meter burned, and about 7% else, and it knocks them miles away. I mean, look at that. Even metered, it's not really any real use in doing it. It's just sort of a bit pathetic, really. You lose all your pressure. But you may want to do it if you're about to have level 3 anti-Venom and you want to chill for a bit. Now his Raging Charge is one of the special moves which I do like to meter burn, because like I've said, you're going to have a lot of meter with Bane all the time, because you don't use it on all the rest of this stuff. And you do get a nice extra chunk of damage with the Raging Charge. You do get left a little bit of a distance away there, but it's not impossible to work with. Now his Venom Uppercut, I mean look at that, that's full screen if ever I saw it. So there's no reason to do a Venom Uppercut unless you're about to run out of Venom, you know, and then you want to chill for a bit back there if you've got level 3 Venom. If you've got level 1 anti-Venom, it's not worth doing it, because then you lose all your spacing and he'll just zone you forever. Possibly, depending on the character. Now his Ring Slam can't be meter burned, but there are 4 variations, and it depends on whether you grab them by the feet or the hands, and whether they're facing up or down. So it's hard to determine which one you're going to get, and that's sort of a problem, because you don't know what kind of spacing you get. But most of them leave you at terrible spacing, so it's just really horrible. And that's all of his special moves. To sort of look at that, I'll just throw max screen. Cheers for that. Now I'm going to have to push in again. He does have good dashes, but it's just very difficult, and seems a bit counterintuitive. So to recap, you shouldn't really be spending meter on meter burning your special moves, because it just puts you in a disadvantage. The only reason you'd want to do it if you're about to finish the match or the round, then pump as much as you can into it by all means. If you're about to lose level 3 anti-venom, then maybe push them miles away so you can chill for a bit. If you're level 1, don't bother because it's not that big of a deal. Or if you want the spacing off a command grab into the corner, for example, is a good idea to do so. Now you are going to have to play Bane with this in mind, basically. This is where everything sort of cruxes upon. If you follow these sort of rules, don't meter burn all this shit, then you are going to play a lot better because you'll be able to apply a lot more pressure. So now I'm going to talk about his special moves more specifically, and the first one is his body press, which is his command grab, and it's a very good move of his, so let's discuss it, shall we? Now to get it to come out, you press down, back, forward 3, so it's like one of the longer inputs for the game, so it's, you know, a little bit slower if you're trying to do it quickly. And it reaches very far. From that distance it still reaches because he moves forward a nice chunk, and it does the most damage of all these special moves, so 16%. So after you've grabbed them once, provided you don't meter burn it, which you shouldn't, you're in a prime position to grab them again and again and again. Even if they try and backdash, Batman tried to backdash there and you still catch him because you move forward quite a lot, so it's a really good thing to catch backdashers and just keep applying pressure. Now the main way you should be doing this is after you've grabbed them once, stick some Venom on if you haven't already, and then go for it again, because if they do a wake up move, you'll absorb it and continue to grab them and to grab them, and then if you're about to run out of Venom, stick another one on if you can help it, and then just keep going, you know, and try and predict a jump, you know, and stuff like that. So it's really good to get into that sort of scenario, and I'd recommend you try to do so. Some special moves can go under it, you know, you can probably still punish these. Now there are some characters with special moves that wake up, like Batgirl's for example, this one, which you won't be able to do this on, because if she wakes up with that it does multiple hits. There are ways to beat it by doing different moves, however. So another thing to note is that some characters on some special moves, and because they wake up, they get invincibility, and some have more than others. So I'm getting hit by this one. So what you need to do is delay your command grab so that you actually take the hit there, for example, and their invincibility is worn off by the time you grab them. So you have to delay it a bit, but then you can keep going, because if you don't, you'll whiff because they've got invincibility. So Bane's Raging Charge is his charge move, and I'm going to call it a charge instead of a raging charge. He does rage during it, but fair enough, I'm just going to call it a charge move, please. And you're going to use this move to generally get through other people's zoning attacks. Now it is a bit iffy. Combined with his Venom, it gives it one piece of armor, so that's how you're going to sort of use it. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail in this and the Venom trait section. And this is the special move which I don't mind meter burning. Now you don't want to waste your meter by having full stock, never using it, and so you don't gain any more. So you will want to use it occasionally, and this is the move which I recommend using it on. You do get a nice chunk of extra damage, and your space disadvantage is not as severe as if with other special moves that you could meter burn. You do get a little bit, but if you don't meter burn it, you still get a bit of the same disadvantage anyway, so you might as well do it on this one. So you do a charge, which is nice. You're sort of left at this distance without meter burning it, so you can't do much else. You can do a command grab, providing they don't move. Like so, just go straight into it, maybe you'll catch them. Maybe worth the shot. If you choose to meter burn it, you'll like suplex him, and you're left at this sort of range, which is a little bit further away, but it's not that big of a deal. If you're really far away, it seems like you might get a bit closer. Now his suplex meter burn bit is a bit analog. It's not, you know, you're going to fly over to his corpse and do it no matter what, because if you charge him funnily, you could miss it completely, so, and then you'll get punished for that. So you do have to be careful about, you know, meter burning the charge, but generally, unless you're doing a weird setup like that, you should be fine. So like I stated, the main reason you're going to use this is to get through zoning, and you're going to need to use your Venom to do this, so you can get one piece of armor, so you can get through things like this. Now you only get one piece of armor, so if you've got things which are multiple hitting like these batarangs, you're not going to be able to get through. But if you stick on level 3 Venom, your special moves become invincible to projectiles. Only half of them in the game. It's pretty hard to determine what is a projectile and what isn't. You'll sort of get that through playing the game or experimenting yourself, But these batarangs do become completely invincible to them. You don't take any damage, and this is something that level 3 Venom is very good for. Okay, I'll go into that more detail in the actual Venom section. So you've got these corner sort of setups. Anytime you knock them down in the corner, you can do a charge, and it will cause a cross-up charge, and they'll get shifted across, so they have to block that cross-up, which is pretty nice. But you can also do it mid-screen by doing back 2-3, back 2-3. Make sure the second back 2-3 is quite low to the ground, and then do a charge, and it causes it to be a cross-up, as you can see, which is pretty nice. But as you saw earlier in this sort of setup, you can't meter burn this one, otherwise you just miss and you get punished, probably. So the rest of his special moves are relatively short. There's not much use for them, so let's sort of go over them quickly. And the first one is double punch. Now this is an overhead, so that's generally quite good in and of itself. But it does have some drawbacks, so let's have a look. Okay, so it's pretty quick, which is nice. It's an overhead, which is also good. It is safe, as we saw in the safe string section, so even better. And but the damage is terrible. 7% there is rubbish. And if you meter burn it, you're going to knock them miles away, so just don't do it unless you need the space or you're going to finish the round with it. Now, one of the good things is that you can cancel any normals into it, or any normals that can be cancelled into it, which kind of lets you just do any target combo and stick an overhead in it whenever you like. So it's about mixing them up. 2 lows into an overhead, you know, that could be quite good, or any things which don't have an overhead in them, like that for example. It is safe. You could even cancel your uppercut. And it's got a couple of things tied into it, which I'll go over in the mix-up section. So your next thing is your Venom uppercut. It's a pretty basic move. You just like shoulder barge them in the air. Now you always want to have Venom on when you use this move, because you're going to take a hit probably. And it's best used as an anti-air. Don't meter burn it unless you want the distance again, or you're going to finish the round. But just make sure you've always got Venom on when you're going to use it. It's not bad to use on Wake Up as well, because you get a bit of invincibility. But it is unsafe. Hopefully you'll see the kind of way I use that when we do the match commentaries later. And lastly, we've got the ring slam, which I've already actually talked everything I need to talk about it for. You can't meter burn this one, and it depends on whether you grab them by the feet or the hands, or whether they're facing up and down, to get 4 different variations. But all the variations, hopefully you can kind of see, they're pretty bad for positioning. I mean, that one was quite good, but half the time you don't quite know what you're going to get, because it depends on where you grab them, and if he's flipping around in the air, you don't know what you're going to get. So it does several damage. It's an anti-air move, of course, but I find it less consistent than Solomon Grundy's, so I prefer to stick the Venom on. I don't think the Venom works on this move either, because it's got such a short active frames, that I prefer to just do a Venom charge for an anti-air instead. And in terms of damage, there's better alternatives to do, like your command grab. So now we've talked about, or I've talked about, Bane's special moves. We're still going to touch over them, but now we're on to his trait, which is his Venom buff and debuff. Now, the whole game plan of Bane is basically around this Venom. You need to have good Venom management, know when to back off when you're on anti-Venom or close to it, when to sort of press forward, when to use it, and how to sort of use it. You kind of saw a little bit how to use it in the command grab section, where you kind of use it as pressure to take a hit on Wake Up possibly, and stuff like that. So the most obvious thing that the Venom does is increase the damage of all your attacks based on the number of Venom you've got. So that did 12%, 1 times does 13, 2 does 15, 3 does 18. Okay, so it increases the damage. And when your Venoms run out, you'll get a anti-Venom, I like to call it, which is a debuff, and you take more damage depending on what level you're on. So level 3 is really bad, back off a lot there, and you also do less damage. So that same combo did 4% when I was level 3 anti-Venom. But there's also level 1 and level 2 anti-Venom, and they're not so bad. So if you do a full combo, you know, with no Venom on at all, then it does like 29%. You're not really going to get a whole combo with 3 Venom, because it's very unlikely. It's not a good thing to do. But if you do, you get 44%. So that's a nice extra chunk. But if you get level 3 anti-Venom, that whole combo did 9%. So be careful about that. Okay, so Also, it does kind of change your walking speed. Now, having Venom on doesn't change it, but when you're getting into anti-Venom, you will take more damage, so be careful about that. But you do walk a hell of a lot slower, and so do your dashes. Move slower, so be careful about your anti-Venom. Level 3 is a lot more severe than level 1 and level 2. Now, your Venom damage, when used in your super, for example, it doesn't still decrease while it's gone off. So there it's level 3, and it's still level 3 now. As you can see, he's still glowing, and it's not going to wear off during this animation. So providing you're on level 3 when you grab him, then it will stay at level 3 for the whole animation for 54%. But if, for example, you grab him just as it's ticking over to 0, then it's going to stay on 0 for the whole thing. It still doesn't tick over. So it's level 3, but by the time I grabbed him, it's changed to level 0, anti-Venom. And level 3 anti-Venom is a big deal, especially on super, because you just wasted 4 meter on 19%. Well done. But your damage from your Venom also transfers to everything else that you do. If you do an interactable, it might be a good idea, if you're certain you're going to get it, to stack it up to 3 Venom. You get 33% damage there, which is pretty decent. Stage transitions the same as your supers. If you were level 3 when you hit them and this animation's going on, as you can see it's faded away, then it's going to stay on level 3 for the whole thing. So a level 3 stage transition was 50%, but it also counts for level 3 anti-Venom. So if you hit them through with an anti-Venom, I'm afraid you just wasted a lot there. So the main ways you want to use your Venom is as pressure. Use it to absorb a hit. As you can see, I absorbed that sort of lightning storm there. A good way is to, on Wake Up, use it to absorb the hit and knock them through. You know, Green Lantern spamming that ring on Wake Up. Use it to take that damage and sort of continually grab them. They'll learn to stop it. Now you have to be careful about Wake Up attacks which have invincibility on them, like so, okay? You have to delay your command grab, for example, so that you take the hit and their invincibility is worn off, so you can continually go. Now this Venom armor is one of the things which causes Bane's bad matchups. I think Black Adam is one. Now this EX strike hit me 3 times, and all my Venom only have 1 piece of armor. People say it has more, but it only has 1, okay? Now the main point is Aquaman, by comparison, if he does a ranged attack, it only hits once, so that makes it fine. Multiple hitting ranged attacks that I can't deal with, okay? Now the main difference between 1 Venom, 2 Venom and 3 Venom is they all have 1 piece of armor, but when you get to level 3 Venom, half the projectiles in the game you become invincible to. So for example, this Trident Toss you are completely invincible to. As you can see, I'm taking no damage from this, okay? Now it's hard to determine what you become invincible to and what you don't, I've already said, but you kind of get it through experimentation and you start to understand what your bad matches are just from playing, or you can go into training mode and try and figure out all the things. But for example, that Trident Toss, you are completely invincible to it. Now for some reason, those Black Adam electricity spikes, you're not invincible to, for some reason. That's what makes it a bad matchup. So Deathstroke, for example, level 3, you can go through all his bullets with this. So it makes it an okay matchup, because if he's zoning you, slap on level 3 and punch him in the face with this move or something, okay? Now even Deathstroke's trait, where it makes all of his bullets unblockable, it still doesn't matter. You become invincible to his projectiles, so he can't hit you. So it kind of even negates his trait. So another bad matchup is Superman. He's a bad matchup for everyone, I know, but Superman's trait negates all armor. So your whole game plan of using your armor is null and void because he's got his trait on. So when he's got his trait, you just got to sit there and sort of block, because you can't get out of it, because he's a lot faster than you as well. Now Superman's lasers, you can get through them, they're only 1 hit, so you can get through them with all your armor. If you've got level 3, it counts as one of the things you're invincible to, so that's even better. Now if he chooses to EX his lasers, you're going to get beat because it hits you twice, okay? If you've got level 3, they don't hit you at all, so level 3 against that, you'll win. An interesting thing about this matchup is when Superman does his trait and starts zoning you to break your armor, basically, if you've got level 3 Venom, yours trumps his, so your invincibility to his projectiles beats his ability to break your armor. So for example, his trait will lose to your trait if he's doing a ranged attack that you're invincible to. So that's quite interesting. Now, we're not finished with Bane's Venom, but I understand there's a lot of information going on here, so maybe you just want a little bit of a break. So your Venom adds damage and you want to use it to gain your armor. That's primarily where you want it. You don't want to care about the damage, you want to care about the armor and the continued pressure. And all your Venom only get one piece of armor. You can't get level 1, start a charge, get hit, then ramp it up to level 2, and then take another hit. You get one piece of armor and that's it on all your special moves. Now, loads of people have been saying that you get more. You get 3 Venom for level 3, and you just don't. Either shut up or show me how I'm wrong, because I just can't find it. There's just no way. You get one piece of armor and that's it. Where level 3, you become invincible to half the projectiles. Now, this is peculiar, and like I've said, it's hard to determine what is classed and what isn't. It seems like all the characters have one that is, you know, classed as a projectile and one that isn't. I say projectile, I don't know what their thought process is for this. But for example, Batman is Batarangs, you're invincible. His grapple hook, you're not. Aquaman is from the deep, you're not invincible. His trident toss, you are. The bad matchups come when projectiles that you're not invincible to are multiple hitting. So Black Adam's lightning strike, you're not invincible to that for some reason, and it hits you multiple times if he X's it, so you can't even level 3 Venom through that. Nightwing's staff slam thing, that hits you twice, you're not invincible to it. You are invincible to his baton version, where he slams them together and does it to you. And so you have to kind of work it out, and your bad matches kind of come through from those reasons. The ones that can get through your level 3 Venom, I find, and zone you well. Okay, so the next important thing that your Venom has at level 3 is the ability to beat armor. Okay, so one of the main ways people punish you is to do a meter burn back 3 or forward 3 when you're charging it or something like that. If you're level 3, you'll beat it. So that's pretty cool, but you can't stay in level 3 for very long, so it's a big deal. But any special move and that normal move will beat a meter burn special like that. Now that one's probably better to do because it's safe, whereas the other one isn't. Now, one of the things Aquaman's got is the ability to do this water shield, which acts like meter, but level 3 will break it as well, which is something which is awesomely good, because I've been fighting a couple of Aquaman, they've been beating the crap out of me waking up with that. Okay, so Solomon Grundy's super, which gives him infinite meter and he just tries to grab you, just slam on a level 3 Venom and just take him out of it. You know, shut up, here you go. You wasted 4 bars and I just hit you. So that's how you deal with his super. Now, one of the actual main ways you're going to use your Venom is after you've got a command grab. On wake up, you want to start sticking on Venom. You want to slowly increment it, okay? So wait till it's nearly run out, slam on another one, and keep doing command grabs. Try and wait for a jump, and then predict the jump. So there are instances where you can't put on pressure as well as you'd like. For example, Batgirl, she's got this move, which is multiple hitting, so you can't do a piece of one armor and get through. So your command grabs just won't work, and she'll always do it. Yeah, it's really annoying. So it makes it kind of a hard matchup to punish her on wake up. So what you do instead is you do a Venom uppercut. If you space it correctly, then you can just keep doing it. You know, she can still punish you out there, but spaced, you can just keep doing it. And then while she keeps doing it, it's unsafe, so you have to do it in moderation, but you know, because it's really hard to punish that move because she's got a high-low mix-up of it to begin with. So this is how your Venom kind of wants to be used. Use it on their wake up to pressure. Use it to move in to try and get some pressure going. You know, dash forward because it's a half-screen dash, and then do a command grab. And if they press a button, then you'll absorb it and still grab them half the time. So that's actually going to bring me on to the next point, which is going to be command grab, supers, issues, the glitches, the whiffs, which you're going to come across quite a bit. So in this section, I'm going to be talking about Bane's super, which is an unblockable grab, and his command grab, which is his body press move, which is also an unblockable grab. Now, they both have issues with them. I remember saying in my strengths and weaknesses section that they were unreliable. I think I said something like 70-30%, 70% you'll get them. I don't know if I stick by that, but they are unreliable, and you will notice this when you play as Bane. Now, earlier you obviously saw that sometimes certain special moves will whiff, and they'll go underneath your command grab, but then maybe you can punish it. And you have seen that on Wake Up, invincibility means you won't grab them. You can't grab armor most of the time. So there's a lot of things which stop these command grabs working, but they're all sort of within the rules of the game. So I don't like the rule that armor will beat a command grab, but I'm okay with it because that's what actually happens. All these issues are things which need to be fixed. So if I just go into them, you'll see what I mean. These are the sort of things you have to start looking out for and be careful of. So in this particular match, I'm fighting against Green Lantern. I've got him down. I'm going to command grab him again. He chooses to use the dumpster, and somehow it just completely whiffs. I don't know why. There's no reason to. It wasn't a wake up. Batman's Ultra. I can't punish him for it with my own Ultra. I can't even punish it with a command grab. I have to hit him for some reason first, which is not something I always want to do. And it's the same with a lot of other characters' supers. I mean, I'm not showing them all, but Green Arrows, I discovered it's the same sort of deal. You just completely whiff on punish for some reason. So this kind of turned Bane's super into rubbish to me. I never use it because it just seems so unreliable. Because in this example, Superman will hit me and float up, and then he'll float down. And maybe you can say, yeah, Superman's floating down, so he is airborne. Well, that's fair enough, but as soon as he reaches the ground, he becomes able to do something. So he can immediately jump when he's reached the ground. So there's no way I can punish him with my Ultra versus his Ultra there. So it just becomes a bit annoying, and Joker and Green Arrow and Batman have no reason. You know, they're always grounded, so I don't like that. But I have just shown a lot of Ultras. So this particular instance is somewhat different. You can press back 2 or forward 2 when I do a command grab on reaction, and somehow it just completely whiffs for no reason whatsoever. There's a forward 2 from Green Lantern. Harley Quinn's back 2. You know, and there's plenty and plenty and plenty more other things which avoid command grabs, which I'm not showing because I haven't explored everything. Solomon Grundy can do a forward 2. He can also do a back 2 pretty easily. He can just press an X, which is a 3, and that'll avoid it for some reason. He can even do an EX Grave Rot, which makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, what the hell? And I know I've shown loads of command grabs. Well, this goes for supers as well. Anything that goes for command grab goes for supers. On reaction, you can press back 2 and just avoid it. Pisses me off. But that seems to be the rules of your command grabs and stuff. So I think it's not a problem with Bane, it's more a problem with every other character. You need to stop all these weird things where, you know, because you're going to have armor on your command grabs and you're going to have armor on your super, but for some reason they'll just bypass it, probably because you're in recovery frames because you missed. You can get it so they hit your armor but you're still whiff, so you know your armor's there, but it just, you know, all this problem you will come across when you play Bane, so you need to be careful of these things. And sort of, if people start noticing they can do something for free, they probably will continue to do that, and you need to stop command grabbing them. So fix it. So Bane's anti-air options, he's got about roughly the same as most other people, and there are some which I prefer to do over others, but it's all about what you want to do. I'll list them now. The first one is your Ring Slam special move, which is an anti-air grab. So you could do this, and if you manage to get it, then you do beat them out quite, you know, without trading or anything. But you do trade quite often. I find it less consistent than Solomon Grundy's air grab for some reason. I think it's got like a smaller hitbox area. And instead I prefer, personally, to just stick on one piece of Venom to get the armor and do a Venom uppercut instead. I prefer this. You do take damage. I am taking small chunks of damage every time I do this, but I at least know that I won't get traded or I won't get comboed into full punish, because if you miss an anti-air grab you could get full combo punished. And it's the same for this down 2. It's a reasonable move. You will trade occasionally. It does have a bit of a backwards reach, so if they jump over you. So as you can see, I'm trading a lot and it's not really that good for me. But if you do manage to hit them, you can combo out of it on this case, so you can get more damage than you normally would. So it's up to you which version you choose out of all the options. I prefer to do the Venom uppercut, but I do sometimes go for the other options as well, depending on the situation. So in this section I'm going to talk about Bane's Mixup ability and his Crossup technology, which I've discovered. Now, Bane hasn't got much of this stuff. I've tried looking on YouTube and there's not much anything there at all for Bane, apart from some basic bread and butter combos which are pretty rubbish. And so I've just went into training mode and found as much as I can, and we can sort of evaluate its worth now. So I've stuck everything I know that I could find in, and we'll evaluate it now. Okay? So to begin with, I'm just showing you a little sort of idea of what kind of thing it is that I'm showing off, all put into sort of one big mix-up attempt. There's a lot of cross-up ability going on here, and there's a lot of, you know, quick hits and stuff, small attacks. Bane hasn't got really big combos, remember, so everything's in small little bits. So the first thing, and I showed this in its own individual section, is down 2. After any down 2, your uppercut, you can go into a dash forward, crossover, back 3 or forward 3. This means that you can get into a nice combo off a down 2 pretty easily, providing they don't tech roll or wake up with a special move. Now, I find the forward 3 a lot better than the back 3, because the back 3 you have to time it a little bit more strictly, and the forward 3 is also an overhead, so if they're blocking correctly but they're also blocking down correctly, then it is an overhead and you'll hit them. So you've got like double the chance to hit them, and it's easier to combo out of as well. So forward 3 is a lot easier to do. You can also do these down 2s after any or during any combos, and you'll still be able to get into the same situation, providing they don't tech roll or wake up with a special move. So your back 1-1-2, your little shimmy dance that you do, this also has the same properties. After any one of these, you can dash up and do a forward 3 or a back 3 cross up. This is also if they don't tech roll or wake up with a special move. You can delay these things and make it so they aren't, like, you know, double bluff it so they're not a cross up, but that's up to you. If you do get a wall bounce, the back 1-1-2 is a little difficult to combo into. Sometimes it whiffs, you know, you have to be very tight with that input there, but you can get it off any combo, and it's better for damage if you do it that way. For example, you can use interactables, you know, end it with an uppercut and then dash up and do the cross up. So I've got 2 interactables there, which is pretty nice. Now as you see, all the damage, these are all reset, so it's all quite risky, and you have to be careful and take that into account. Now on this particular reset, it's based on his dash. Now you can see his dashes are really good, they go quite a long distance, but his forward dash you can cancel halfway through into something else. So you'll be able to see I sort of dash forward and then cancel it into a dash back, and you can do that. That's good for dashing up and then crouch blocking and stuff like that. So what you can do here, after any back 2-3 like that, you can dash under, okay? And because of his dash you can dash under, cancel it and jump back over and do like a cross up. So there's a little mix up there where it's cross under, cross over. You can even bluff it so it doesn't actually cross over. So there's a little mix up there. Obviously you're sacrificing real damage for this mix up. And tall characters you will never be able to actually fully cross over, like Lex Luthor, Doomsday and possibly Bane, but you can use a jumping 2, and it's so ambiguous. I mean, if you watch this, when I do the jumping 2, I'm pretty much over the other side, but then I teleport back. Now they do have to block it as if it wasn't a cross up, so you may get the actual attack if you do that way, because they may be blocking as if it was a cross up. So when you're in the corner, anytime you do a combo in the corner, you can always end it with a charge, and when they wake up they'll have to block that charge cross up. Okay, so that's a nice way of getting an extra 15% damage from a cross up there. And this goes from pretty much anything which the charge doesn't combo into normally. Okay, and the next thing we can do is doing that in the middle of the screen. There's one setup for it, which is back 2-3, back 2-3 charge. That will cause it to become a cross up. Okay, that's providing they don't tech roll. If they tech roll, that won't work. But the second back 2-3 has to hit them when they're quite low to the ground there for it to actually make effect. So the next piece of technology is making wake up reversals in the corner come out the wrong way on the opponent. So you end it with a Venom uppercut and then do a dash forward, neutral jump, down 3. Okay, and as you can see, well, it's a little complicated with this one, but it does work. He teleports, his wake up comes the wrong way and he comes back into the corner. I think it's a lot more easier to see on this particular one. And it also works anytime you finish with a double punch in the corner, but the double punch does less damage, so it's up to you. So what you actually do, I've said before, but I'll slow it down again. You end with a Venom uppercut or a double punch, dash forward, neutral jump down 3. The down 3 is to protect you because you raise your hitbox a little bit, and you'll actually hit them as well. So after any big combo, dash forward and do it. This setup is very character specific, as well as move specific, so it'll work against Scorpion's teleport as well as his sweep special move, but it won't work against his backflip special move. So you need to be careful about if he starts doing that on Wake Up. And I've tried it against loads of other characters. Superman's got his airborne launcher thing, which you'll see. That. So it's quite risky against that. It's a lot harder to do against that particular move, but it is still possible. You just got to jump and do the down 3 a bit earlier on. There is timing required for this particular move, but you can stuff it, which is nice. You don't get much of a punish from it though, which is the problem. And again, if he does a different move, then you still get him, which is nice. So I kind of go through several characters and try and see whether these are actually viable setups. You can even go into your super from this particular one, which is weird, some weird cross-up thing happened there, but still. So Doomsday I thought was another character which would be quite awkward to do this on, and it is true, he is an awkward character. He's got that anti-air grab which seems to get you out cleanly, no problem at all. He's also got like the air shoulder Venom uppercut of his own, and that seems to get you out half the time. We seem to trade on that particular one. So at the minute it's not particularly a good idea to do this setup on Doomsday. Now Doomsdays, they always wake up with that Meteor Smash, that unblockable one. That's quite annoying, but you can get around that by just adapting this particular setup slightly. So instead of dashing forward and then neutral jumping, just do a neutral jump straight away, and then you will be able to have them. So it doesn't work there. If he starts doing this on his Wake Up all the time, just do a neutral jump and the down 3, and then just keep doing it, and it'll always beat out his Meteor Smash. But if he does the other 2 special moves that I said, then you're going to get beat out. So you need to bring up the risk-reward factor with this particular setup. You have to know the character you're fighting, what moves he's got, and whether you can beat it with this setup. Okay, so they're all the mix-up kind of things I did, and hopefully you find them interesting. There are some interesting things in there. Some of them may not be particularly worthwhile, like that back 2-3 dash and a crossover. It might be good to do once, but really you are sacrificing maybe 20% damage for a reset which may not work out right. So you need to work out whether these things are actually that good a thing to do. I'm sure this section was the section that most people got excited for, so you can tell me if you found these parts any good, and I hope you did. Okay, so now I'm on to Bane's bread and butter combos, B&B, his bed and breakfast combos, and I'm not going into his meter burn combos, his super combos, his interactable combos, or his stage transition combos. And you may be thinking, why the hell not? Well, basically, his meter burn combos, they just add damage, so it's up to you whether you want to use that. I've told you how I expect you to use the meter burn on his special moves because they position him badly. His super combos, you just add super anywhere you would add a normal command grab, and that all it does is add extra damage, so there's no point me really showing you that. Anytime you knock him into a helicopter or something, it's the same sort of combos, jump 2, and then 1, 2, 3, command grab, and stage transition you can't combo into them, so really these are just going to be your basic combos. All the interesting stuff comes from the mix-up and knowing how to use your moves and when to use your Venom, basically, sadly. Okay, so your absolute main bread and butter combo is back 2-3, 1, 2, 3, command grab. You go for command grab because it's the most damaging special you have. And this is also your mid-screen combo. Back 2-3, 1, 2, 3, command grab. Now when you're in the corner, you've got some options which are a bit more powerful. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, command grab. Now this particular move is quite difficult to do, quite strict on the timing between each 1, 2, 3. So instead I recommend you do 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 3 command grab. Now these both start on high attack, so you have to be careful of that. But that's your most damaging corner combo you have. Okay, you can do back 2, 3, 1, 1, 3. And if they're crouching like that, that's the way you get them to sort of stand and you go into your 1, 1, 3. Because when you hit them with a jumping attack, they do stand up, so you can go into your 1-1-3 without fear. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's all of his bread and butter combos. Amazing section, wasn't it? So they're going to be your main combos. Everything else just comes from 1 or 2 hits, get into your special moves. You'll kind of see it in the next section, which is going to be the match commentary section. A lot of things are just going to be random one-off special moves, one hit into a special move, that sort of thing. So let's see what that holds, shall we? So now we've nearly come to the end of our guide. There's still a couple of things which I'm hoping to reinforce into your brains, and that is how to play Bane. I know that's what the whole guide's about, but really this section is quite important because I've told you the tools he's got, how I think you should use them, you know, and what things are good for. But now I'm going to show you me doing that in practice, hopefully. So I'm going to commentate through some of the matches I had. I picked some good ones, so hopefully they're not completely me just owning some noob or just getting owned by some masterful pro player or anything like that. I tried to pick good matches though, so they actually are challenging. And it's about the mindset, my Venom management, what kind of special moves I'm doing when I back off and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing I'm going to commentate throughout, okay? Okay, so our first match is against a Superman. And we know Superman's a very tough character. I watched Evo 2013, so I know the tendencies and how tough he can be. So at this particular point, I'm even thinking about what we're going to do as soon as the fight starts. I don't think I can beat him with any of my normals. I could risk a backdash, but I think he's going to do his forward 2-3, so I'm just going to sit there and block it, I think. Okay, I tried to interrupt that trait activation, couldn't get it in time. His trait does stop armor, so I know I'm at a disadvantage in that particular point. So I just have to sit there and block. Okay, stop him on my wake up using the Venom uppercut, which is risky, but I do it. Keep the Venom going, try and go for some more command grabs. Okay, 2 lows into a double punch, that's a good way to get him to block low. Oh, okay, that air dash caught me by surprise. Okay, he's going to a full damage corner combo, which is very deadly. He misses that particular point, and that was very ambiguous. He beat me to the crouching 1, and I tried to use my Venom there. I knew he had trait on, so that was a very bad idea to do. Okay, so, and I tried to charge him at the end. Now I did have Venom on, but I think I didn't have enough health, and that is something I didn't take into account. Okay, so I got the feeling he's going to do some sort of zoning attacks. I wasn't aware that he was going to do his trait, but since this trait beats my armor, I'm not going to stick any Venom on, not going to try running through, just jumping over all these ones. Now I stick some Venom on, and he did a double hit, so I'm going to slam it onto 3 to get close to him. And since I've got 3 Venom, I'm going to keep charging him, because if he does any range stuff, I'll go through it. Now I'm on anti-Venom level 3, so I'll try and be very cautious. Right, so it should about wear off now. Okay, need to try and... that was risky, but at least I'm out the corner. Am I going to clash this? Yes, okay. Now, Bane has a lot of meter to clash, I've always said. So I think I used it all there, did I? Because I don't use it for much else. Okay, so I won 30%. He only used 1 bar. So I got a lot of health back there. Okay, 3 Venom again. He's doing a lot of zoning. And even on block, you can't punish the charge. The only way you can punish it is by doing meter or jumping over it and punishing me. So I charged him because I had 3 Venom, and then I charged him again. Then I did a Venom uppercut because I thought he was going to do a forward 2-3 because that's what they always do. And then I just jump over him for some pressure, and I got him, and it did a big chunk of damage because I had 3 Venom on. Okay, so who we're fighting this time? We're fighting Doomsday. Now, Doomsday for Bane, I'd say it's about even, maybe. You can deal, and you've got the tools to deal with Doomsday, I would say, but he can still catch you out. So the first thing I'm thinking about what we're going to do, I'm probably going to try and do a move, so forward 2 down is a good overhead. I should have cancelled it into my charge there, but I didn't, and I'm missing a couple of links there. I'm surprised he got hit by that. Okay, I got hit by that. Wake up, command grab, he jumped, which was unfortunate. Okay, we both seem to be doing wake up uppercuts and stuff. I know he's got frame advantage on that, so I wait for him to hit me and then back off. I should be dashing that. Okay, and the same sort of thing happens again. He wakes up with this, so I start noticing that. He's got frame advantage, and he caught me trying to backdash again. So I know he's doing a lot of wake up meteor storms, so I'm going to start adapting to that. Okay, he's put his trait on. I'm going to slam on down 1, just keep doing it, because that's a good way to stun lock him. And his trait's about worn off when he jumps at me the second time. So do a meter burn forward 3. Forward 3 is the best way to do it. He's long distance, I'm waiting for a meteor smash. Meteor burn forward 3 is the only one you can do. You can't do meteor burn back 3. Okay, I got a command grab. Make sure I've got Venom. Keep doing command grabs. Make sure my Venom's staying up. Do another one. Make sure you time it correctly so you don't get his invincible frames. And he does that. Now there is a little setup you can do with that. Okay, this is just going to be chip damage. I think he's just going to die now. Venom uppercut. Okay. Now when he does his meteor smash, you can time it so your body press, command grab, if he does it, you go past him and then he'll go behind you and you basically get to punish him. And every time he does it, you can just keep going. So a bit unlucky, but because I know there is something you can do there, a little technique. I think I just timed it a bit early, that's all. Okay, and now we're on Aquaman. Aquaman is quite a difficult player for Bane because he's got his trait, which is very important, and he's got really long reaching pokes, which is kind of the reason Bane's pretty bad. It's hard to start your momentum going, really. Okay, overhead, low. I can't believe I blocked that. That is really hard to block. And two, especially, well, online anyway. And that's where I'm playing. Okay, so I did my 2 lows into overhead. And I tried my command grab there. He did 2 quick normals. And that's kind of the problem. People who got quick normals. Okay, good. Predicted from the deep. Okay, so I'm waiting. What's he going to do? Oh, meter burn. That's dangerous for me because I know he knows how to punish me now. Okay, I can punish that. Oh, command ground. Probably going to throw him behind me. Oh, I didn't have the meter. I would have done it else. Use meter burn, throw him behind me, get him in the corner. Worked out in the end. Okay, now one of the main things you probably saw there was that during like round transitions where a round has ended or something like that, you can't actually use your Venom. So sometimes you run out of Venom when you really don't want to. Okay, another command grab. Nope. Go for some pressure there. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm probably not going to stick it on 3. So he's got me onto quite low health, and although I am anti-Venom level 2, if I back off I know he's just going to chip me down, so I need to stay in to combat range and try and do as much damage as I can to him before I lose the round. Okay, so I did a wager there. Now initially you may think, whoa, he's got tons of meter, you got none, so you're going to lose a lot of health, and I do, but if you think about it, he was probably going to get into like a 50-55% damage combo, and this way I caused him to waste all his meter and only get 30%. So it was kind of a bad thing to do. I wish I had more meter, but really it probably saved me more health than I'd have lost. And low into overhead, special move, E-exit because I'm in the corner, I won't lose positioning, and it wins the round for me. So hopefully you see me sort of backing off when I've got Venom, going forward when I have Venom, how I stick it on when I've got a command grab, keep it going, you know, and sometimes they jump over me, which becomes a bit of an issue. You might be able to punish it though. And I use Venom uppercuts when they're trying to jump on me and wake up and stuff like that. Until they start to show me that they can bait it out, I probably won't stop doing it. So hopefully those matches helped in some way. You can rewatch them, and I always put up new matches anyway, just generally outside of the guide. So that's the end of my guide. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. If there's anything else you want to know, then feel free to ask. And that is all.